Some rivalries define eras. Others just kind of fade away. Right now, the NFL landscape is shifting. Legendary coaches are leaving, young stars are taking over, and some rivalries that were dead for decades, well, they're suddenly the most compelling matchups in all of football. So today, let us break down 5 rivalries that are absolutely heating up and 5 that are officially dead. Heating up, Packers versus Bears. The NFL's oldest rivalry is back, and heck, it might be better than it's ever been. For years, this rivalry was a bit of a joke. The Packers and Aaron Rodgers owned Chicago for a decade, and it just wasn't even close. There was no competition here. Then, Ben Johnson arrived. 6 minutes into his introductory press conference, and Johnson turned to reporters and made some choice remarks about beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. Keep in mind, he hadn't even coached a game in Chicago yet, and he was already picking a fight with Green Bay. LaFleur did not take it well. At the NFL's annual meeting, they exchanged the coldest, most awkward handshake that you'll ever see. LaFleur later told reporters, "I don't know Ben Johnson. Do I have beef? I don't know Ben Johnson." Week 14, the Packers beat the Bears 28-21 at Lambeau. LaFleur gave Johnson another drive-by handshake. 2 weeks later, Caleb Williams threw a 46-yard touchdown to DJ Moore in overtime. Bears win 22-16, and they had erased a 10-point deficit in the final 2 minutes, recovered an onside kick, and pulled off a miracle. But man, the real fireworks came in the playoffs. Wild Card Weekend, Soldier Field. The Bears fell behind 21-6 entering the fourth quarter. Green Bay at this point had a 99% win probability. Williams led 3 consecutive touchdown drives in the fourth quarter, the third coming with the Bears down 27-24 with under 2 minutes left when Williams found DJ Moore wide open for a 25-yard touchdown. Bears 31, Packers 27. Johnson became the first Bears head coach to win a playoff game in his first season at the helm. In the locker room afterward, he grabbed the microphone and screamed, "F the Packers, F them, I effing hate those guys." Yeah, that's not corporate rivalry anymore, that is just real. And here's why this matters long term. Both teams are set. Williams just set the Bears' single-season passing record with 3,942 yards. Jordan Love is just entering his prime. Johnson and LaFleur could be facing off twice a year for the next decade. The NFL's oldest rivalry finally has some stakes again. Then, John Harbaugh versus Mike Tomlin. For nearly 2 decades, John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin defined what an AFC North rivalry should look like. 40 head-to-head meetings, 2 Super Bowl winning coaches, the NFL's longest tenured coaching tandem at their respective franchises. But in January of the 2026 offseason, that all changed as both were gone within a week. Their final meeting was Week 18. Winner takes the AFC North. Loser goes home. It was the first winner-go-home game in AFC North history. Classic Steelers-Ravens, 4 lead changes in the fourth quarter, brutal defense, just everything on the line here. But the game tied 24-24 in seconds remaining. Ravens rookie kicker Tyler Loop lined up for a 44-yard field goal to win Baltimore the division. Unfortunately for Baltimore, he missed it, and the Ravens were eliminated. 2 days later, owner Steve Bisciotti fired Harbaugh after 18 seasons. 1 week after that, Tomlin stepped down. 19 seasons without a losing record, which is an NFL record, and he just walked away. Tomlin hasn't landed anywhere just yet. Jesse Minter is now the Ravens head coach, and the 2 longest tenured coaches in the league are suddenly gone. Now, one of football's fiercest rivalries is in new hands. Don't get us wrong, the games will still be very good, but it's going to be missing what made this rivalry special. 2 coaches who genuinely respected each other while doing everything possible to destroy each other twice a year. When all was said and done, Tomlin finished with the advantage 23-17 against Harbaugh in head-to-head meetings. It's going to be interesting to see how the next evolution of this rivalry comes into form, but for now, one of the NFL's greatest coaching rivalries is officially dead. Heating up, Mike Vrabel versus Tom Brady. Now here's a rivalry that nobody saw coming. 2 guys who won 3 Super Bowls together as teammates are now competing against each other, and it's already getting pretty ugly. When Mike Vrabel took over the Patriots in 2025, he immediately transformed one of the NFL's worst rosters into a Super Bowl contender. New England went 14-3, won the AFC East for the first time since 2019, and reached Super Bowl 60. Meanwhile, Tom Brady became a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, apparently after trying and failing to wiggle his way into the owner's box in Foxborough. And when it came time for the Raiders to trade Max Crosby, Brady reportedly made sure his former teammate did not get the player that he wanted. Reports quickly started to surface that Tom went out of his way to make sure that the stud defensive end was not sent to his former team. Instead, Brady shipped Crosby to Baltimore for 2 first-round picks, and the Patriots got nothing. These two are fiercely competitive people. Brady is widely regarded as the most ruthless winner in NFL history. Vrabel is the guy who still practiced with his guys from time to time. Now they're operating in the same conference, making decisions that directly affect each other's franchises. Brady controls personnel in Las Vegas, Vrabel is building a dynasty in New England. And neither one is going to give the other an inch. Ted, Jets versus Patriots. Remember when these two teams played meaningful games? Well, not anymore. The Patriots may be back under Vrabel's leadership, but the Jets went 3-14 in 2025, and they started 0-7. The last team in the NFL to win a game. Their defense didn't record a single interception all season long. Meanwhile, the Patriots went 14-3 and made the Super Bowl. When these teams met, it wasn't a rivalry. It was a glorified practice. New England destroyed the Jets 42-10 in Week 13. The Jets committed a franchise record 160 penalty yards. Aaron Glenn's first season as head coach was a disaster by any measurement. The Justin Fields experiment failed spectacularly, and by Week 12, Fields was benched and the Jets held a fire sale at the trade deadline, shipping out Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner, 2 of their best defensive players for future draft assets. Patriots and Jets used to define the AFC East. Well, the Jets are just too bad to be rivals with anyone anymore. Yeah, this isn't a rivalry, it is a reoccurring embarrassment for New York. Heating up, Patriots versus Bills. While the Jets collapse, the real AFC East rivalry is between New England and Buffalo. Bills have won the division 5 straight years now. They had the reigning MVP in Josh Allen, and Bills fans thought the Pats were a thing of the past, so Buffalo was supposed to run the AFC East forever. But then Mike Vrabel showed up. Drake May emerged as a legitimate MVP candidate, and New England's defense became one of the most feared units in all of football. Teams split the season series, but the Patriots got the edge this year by taking the AFC crown. This should be quite a battle for years to come. Both quarterbacks were finalists for MVP. Both teams finished with elite records and are very young. Heck, young enough to do this for the next decade or so. Ted, Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen. For years, this was the rivalry that defined the AFC. Mahomes and Allen meeting in the playoffs, Kansas City finding a way to win every single time. Allen never able to get over the hump. 4 playoff losses to the Chiefs. However, in 2025, it all sort of fell apart. Chiefs win 6-11. They missed the playoffs for the first time since 2014. Mahomes had his worst statistical season as a starter. A 63.1 completion percentage, his career low, and 22 touchdowns in 14 games. Then came Week 15 against the Chargers. Mahomes scrambled to extend a play and got spun down by defensive lineman Deshaun Hand. He grabbed his left knee immediately, and as many feared, it was a torn ACL. Thus, his season was officially over. It even puts the start to the 2026 season in jeopardy. The typical recovery timeline is 9 months. But you know, there's no guarantee Mahomes returns to his MVP form. At least not right away. So, for this matchup to matter again, Mahomes needs to get healthy. The Chiefs need to rebuild around him, and to be honest, once he is back, Allen needs to actually beat Mahomes in a playoff game to make it actually feel, competitive. Right now, it's just one great quarterback who can't get it done in the playoffs and another one on the operating table. So, yeah, check back in 2027. Heating up, Seahawks versus Rams. The NFC West has a new defining rivalry, and it might be the most compelling matchup in football. The Seahawks and Rams played each other 3 times in 2025. Each game felt like a heavyweight fight. Seattle won the first regular season meeting by 3 points, Los Angeles won the second by 2. In the NFC Championship, the Seahawks pulled out a 31-27 victory to reach Super Bowl 60. But the real story is the chess match between coaches. Sean McVay revolutionized NFL offense. He made the Rams the most explosive team in all football. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. Mike McDonald, well, he might be his defensive counterpart. In just his second year as head coach, McDonald led Seattle to a championship. His defense held opponents to the fewest points in the NFL. His scheme is so complex that McVay himself said playing against McDonald's unit felt like you were playing against 13 players. What makes this rivalry work is the contrast. McVay's Rams led the NFL in scoring, and McDonald's Seahawks led the NFL in points allowed. They meet, it is the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. Plus, there's the friction that exists between the Shanahan tree and any good coach that didn't spawn his career from it. McDonald is not part of that club. He came up through the Ravens organization. He is the outsider who crashed their party and won a championship. Now these two young coaches could be facing off for NFC supremacy for the next decade. Dad, Cowboys versus 49ers. Once upon a time, this was the NFL's marquee rivalry. 1990s saw Dallas and San Francisco meet in 3 consecutive NFC championship games. The winner went on to win the Super Bowl each time. It was must-see television. Now, well, I mean, the Cowboys can't even make the playoffs. Dallas missed the postseason for the 2nd consecutive year in 2025, the first back-to-back playoff absence since 2000 and 2002, largely because their defense was just one of the worst that we've seen in a long time. The 49ers, well, they remain annual contenders even in spite of all those injuries. They've won the last 4 meetings between these franchises and made a couple of Super Bowl appearances in recent years. So, you know, for this rivalry to actually matter, both teams have to be relevant. The Cowboys haven't won a playoff game since January 2023. They haven't won multiple playoff games in a single postseason since 1996. Their Super Bowl drought has reached 30 years now. Jerry Jones keeps promising that things will change, but man, we have heard that all before, and until it actually does, this rivalry will remain a sleeping giant. Heating up, Ben Johnson versus Shanahan coaching tree. This one is personal. When Ben Johnson was hired by the Bears, he immediately positioned himself as an outsider. He called out Matt LaFleur, he dismissed the Packers, he made it clear that he was not interested in making friends. What he didn't realize, or heck, maybe he did, I don't know, was that he was picking a fight with an entire coaching ecosystem. So you see, LaFleur is part of the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. So is Sean McVay. So is Matt LaFleur's brother Mike LaFleur, who serves as the Rams' offensive coordinator. These guys all vacation together. They share schemes. They are a network. Johnson came up through the Dan Campbell and Miami Dolphins system. He is an outsider to their world. After Johnson's drive-by handshake with Matt LaFleur went viral, reports emerged that his antics did not go over well with the McVay tree. Whatever that means. Seriously, what are they? The coaching mafia? But Johnson isn't backing down. At the NFL Combine, he was asked about his relationship with LaFleur. His answer was blunt. We don't talk. Nope. No. This is not just Bears-Packers anymore. It is Ben Johnson versus an entire coaching fraternity. The Shanahan tree includes some of the most successful offensive minds in football. Johnson is the guy trying to prove that he doesn't need their approval. Made himself the villain, and he seems to love it. Dead Giants versus Jets. 2 teams, 1 city, 0 reasons to actually care. Giants went 4-13 in 2025. The Jets went 3-14. A combined record 7-27. Yikes. The Giants dismissed Brian Daboll after a 2-8 start, while the Jets stuck with first-year head coach Aaron Glenn despite historically bad results. I mean, we're talking about a Jets team that recorded 0 interceptions all season. The Giants showed some life early, but lost Malik Neighbors to a torn ACL in Week 4, further derailing their already struggling offense. Neither franchise has made the playoffs since 2010 for the Jets and 2022 for the Giants. Neither inspires any serious confidence heading into 2026. For years, Giants fans and Jets fans would argue about which team was better. Now, nobody in New York or New Jersey has any fight left in them. This rivalry requires both teams to matter, and right now, the only competition is for the first overall pick. But hey, which NFL rivalry do you think is the most dead? Which is heating up to be the craziest? Is there anyone that we may have missed? What do you think we got right here? What do you think we got wrong? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.